Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chesswise. Today we are going to start with a new topic, that is we are going to learn how to win with an extra piece. Okay, so this is part of practical endgame. We discussed theoretical endgame last time, how to win with an extra pawn. Now we are going to see the bishop's case today, how we can win with an extra bishop. Let us have two cases in mind. One, the opponent's pawns are on the bishop's color. Okay, we have taken a position, the end position after the king reaches near the pawns. I'll teach you how to get to these kind of positions also. But first let us assume, just ignore these part of these three files and just focus on this part of the board. Now let's see, the pawns are on the bishop's color. So here two things can happen. One, we can attack the base pawn. Let's say this pawn was somewhere here or here. Okay, we would just attack the base pawn and capture the base pawn. Okay, with the bishop. So the pawn has fallen on the bishop's color. So king and bishop both can attack the pawn. There will be two attacks. Only king will support it. Will take the pawn. That is a very simple case. Let's look at this situation where the bishop is unable to attack the base pawn. Okay, now what happens? Firstly, whenever we are piece up, okay, piece for no pawns, equal pawns are there, we have the option of returning the piece. So here white, if he wants, he can return the piece. Okay, so he will sacrifice the bishop and he will get, see, both the pawns, two pawns here. Okay, in fact he will get this pawn also. After next move kg8, kg6, black will be unable to save the pawn and the pawn would be lost. So what we saw, white gave up his bishop and he got three pawns here. Even if he gets sometimes two pawns or one pawn, maybe then also he will be winning, because at the beginning they were equal pawns. So white will remain one pawn up and then he can convert the game. So this is about when the pawns are on the bishop's color. Now let's see when the pawns are on the other color of the bishop. Now see, now we have got the pawns on the other color. So this king has reached the square so that it can attack the base pawn. So base pawn is the last pawn and next pawn is ahead of it and there is one more pawn. Okay, this is sometimes called spearhead of a pawn. Okay, so this is the base pawn. So now what we can see, the bishop is unable to attack the base pawn. So here we use another technique where we snatch the opponent's place. See, look at the black king. Black king has two places to support the pawn. Okay, from g8 one and from f8 another one. So what we can do, by using the power of the bishop, we see that king is right now on a white square. So now what we will do, we will play the bishop in such a way that it snatches away the black square. Soon what will happen, all the pawn moves will be exhausted. This situation in chess is called zugzwang. Zugzwang means we force the opponent to move. Compelling the opponent to move is called zugzwang. Zug means move and zwangen is to force. So what we are doing, we are trying to force the opponent to move. Now what will happen, soon after the pawn moves, let's say both will play their pawn moves, and after the pawn moves are over, okay, let's say something like this. Okay, pawn moves are getting exhausted soon. Okay, now see, this pawn is going, so black cannot move this pawn, maybe this one, and after some time we will see white will play move like c4 and maybe one or two more pawn moves. After this we see none of the black pawns are able to move. This pawn moves, it will be captured. This one moves, it will be captured. These two cannot move. Now ultimately he has to move the king. When the king moves, we capture the base pawn, and same way we will win this pawn also. See, after the king h6 we play bishop check, king goes to h7, and then again we waste a move anywhere on the diagonal, and see, king cannot support from here, king has to move and the g6 pawn would be lost. So these are the end positions we are trying to reach. Now we will see from the starting how to reach these positions and convert the game. Okay. So we begin from this position. This is a random position. We can have bishop on any color. Okay, but the technique will be more or less the same. So what we will do first we want the opponent's pawns to come to one complex of squares. So either white squares or black squares. So the first what white will do, he will start by attacking the pawns. So see, we can attack this pawn on c7. See, we should always try to attack the pawns which are away from the opponent's king. Okay, so we are trying to attack the pawns on the queen side which are away from the king. Now black has got choice. Either he can put all the pawns on white squares, which is a safe way to play, and suppose he is putting the pawn on black square, then white can just fix this pawn by placing his pawn, and then he will start attacking the pawns, and the pawns would be easily lost over here. Let's say black plays the pawn to b6. Now see, we can attack. Okay, then the pawn moves, then bishop can attack from behind, and one of the pawn will be easily lost. After b5, pawn takes pawn, pawn recaptures, and bishop takes c5. And suppose over here, after c4, black tries to go a6 first, then also white will simply play bishop to c7, stopping b6, next move bishop to b6, and capture the c5 pawn, and the c5 pawn would be easily lost. So the best attempt for black is to put the pawns on the opposite color of the bishop. So after bishop f4, black will play the pawn to c6. Now what we want this king to be able to attack these pawns. So for that, what we want this king to reach this square, okay, and enter from here. So what we need an entry point for the king. So entry point will be created, but we note that this king to reach c5 will take c 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves, and the opponent's king c 1, 2, 3. It will stop the entry point over there. So what we do? We create an entry point which is far away for the black king. So we attack the other pawn which is on the black square, and we force it to move. So what has happened by movement of this pawn? We got a hole in the position. See, a hole is a square where none of the pawns are controlling. We see that this square has become hole, and this white king now will try to reach here and then capture the pawn on b7. Now let's see what happens. So black king will now try to reach that side. Okay, so now white plays f3 so that the king can quickly reach there. Okay, at the earliest. So now black plays king f8, white plays king f2. Black will try to come from the white squares. Ke3, kd7, kd4. Now see, king is about to reach c5. So the king will go and attack the bishop. Now the bishop is attacked. So now white cannot give up his bishop right now. So what he does? He can play the bishop to d6 so that it can attack this pawn from here, or he can play the bishop to e5, or he can play the bishop to g3 also, where it will be very safe. See, all the moves are winning here because the extra piece has got its power. Suppose we know the technique well, then we understand one very simple thing. This king is going to reach c5 and b6. The king will have only square b8 to support the pawn. So we need bishop on this diagonal. So what is best? We go far away. Okay, we don't allow any pawns to attack the bishop, and in couple of moves the king will reach there, and then we will win the b7 pawn. Now let's see. Black can try to harass this bishop. Let's say f6. King goes to c5. Okay. Pawn goes to g5. King goes to b6. And now he can try to play the pawn to h5 and h4, but we see that the bishop is on a long diagonal, so either we can play h3, h4 and be on this diagonal, or simply we can play after h4 we always had the move bishop c7. So from c7 bishop will guard both these squares. Now after some time there will be no pawn moves left. Let's say pawn goes to f5. We will again waste the bishop. We can play any pawn move also. We can play c4 also. See f4, and now see one more pawn move, and it's over. Now all the king will have to move, and all the pawns will be gone on the queen side. After c kd7, king takes b7. Okay, king moves away, and then we get c6 also. Okay, so white will win the game very easily in this case. So this technique of creating zigzag is a very important way of converting this position. Now let's say in this same position we will go back and see if we are not able to reach the hole on time, then what happens. Now suppose we have got a position very similar one, but the black king is very well placed, Now what happens? We are not able to get an entry to the c5 square. Black has not moved any of his pawns, so there are no holes. But it's not a problem. See what we can do. We can attack any of the pawns over there. See now black is compelled to move one of his pawns. Either he plays a6, okay, or he plays b6. Putting the pawn on the same color is worse because the king will enter, and then after some time, see, even if he tries to block it, so it will be very temporary. Now see, white can play the pawn to b4 and then use b5 check, and king can come to d5. And if white himself plays b5, black himself plays b5 check, then the king moves to d4, king enters e5, and we attack over there. So what will happen basically, if he is managing to balance this side, he is managing to control the threats on this side, we will do the same thing on the other side what we saw now. Let's play some more moves and see. After the move here a6, okay, white can use same technique. See, bishop to f4, keeping eye on the c7 pawn. King moves, okay, and now see, king comes to d5. So we are using the zugzwang technique again and again. Now see, if this pawn moves to c6, then we go kc5, and after all the pawn moves are wasted, this pawn will be lost when the king has moved. Suppose nothing happens, he can also force black to move his g7 pawn and force him to create hole on the other side of the board. For example, bishop comes to e5. Now if black plays the pawn to g6, we see that now the bishop can go to f6, forcing the king to move, and the king will enter on c6 after the pawn moves are over. So h5, then h4. See, now no pawn moves are left, the king has to move. King moves and then king enters c6, and then we win the pawn on c7 with the help of the bishop. Okay, and suppose black had played the pawn to f6 here, then also we can play the bishop to other side. We can play the bishop to d4, and here again same thing. After the pawn moves are over, the king will either move to e7 when the king enters c6, or if the king moves to c8 or d8, then the king moves to e6 and enters from here. So we are using the opposition and putting black on the move. We always have as many moves we want with the bishop. So this is an easy way to win with an extra piece. What happens after the move a6? Okay, now after a6, we'll play the king to c5. See, basically what white wants, he wants that black should either move his pawns ahead, or he has to take his king behind. So if the king goes behind, our king will enter, and if he moves the pawns ahead, then the holes will be created very easily. So let's see, if black plays the pawn to b6 check, okay, king goes to d5 taking opposition. Now see, pawn to c6 check, it looks like things are going good for black, but after the move king e5, now we see black is in some kind of trouble. First problem, the b6 pawn is hanging. Okay, if the pawn moves to b5, then the hole is created here. So king will easily move to d4, kd6 check, king moves away, and the king settles to c5. That will become like the previous variation. And if black's best play is kc7, after king c7, he will see to it that the pawns are protected and the king is not getting entry anywhere into the black's position. So now what white will do, he will simply move the king to f5 and then use this bishop to attack the pawns on the other side. So he can target this g7 pawn. Let's say after the move c5 or b5, let's say c5, white can play check. He wants to use this diagonal, so this square was not available. So king c6, and now the bishop goes to e5. Now very simple, if the pawn comes to f6, bishop takes f6, gf, and the king goes to f6. Two pawns up, and that extra pawn will queen. The whole procedure is about that. The bishop and king are trying to capture a pawn, and then our extra pawn will queen. And suppose black moves this pawn to g6, then the king enters f6, and the f7 pawn is lost. So what happens? We are basically forcing black to commit his pawns, to move his pawns. And if he is not moving his pawns, we want him to take his king away. So let's say here, black is smart enough and he is not playing the move c6. Then what happens? Then he has to play some pawn move here. Because now king will move, then the king will enter to c6. Basically now black is already in a state of zugzwang now. All he can do is he can make some pawn moves. Let's say pawn to f6. Okay. Then bishop comes to bishop can go to d4. Okay. Now c6 check. Then king will come to e4 and f5. Again we will get same kind of position. So black will now have to wait. Maybe he can play the pawn to h6. Now we can see almost his pawn moves are over. All the pawns have come here on the black square. F pawn cannot move, G pawn goes, G pawn cannot move, F6 goes, only he has this pawn move left. So after H4, H5, white can play any move, G3, and now we see black is stuck. King moves anywhere, the king enters. King goes C8, this king can go to E6. King goes C7, this king goes to C6. So C6 check forced. King comes to E4, attacking the pawn on B6. If KC7, then king enters and king will take all these pawns. So what he can do best over here, he can try the move C5. Now out of many things, he can simply give up the bishop, bishop C5, BC5, KD5, and he will win the second pawn. My advice to all the players, those who are new, is very simple. Give the bishop only if we are getting 2 pawns. So 2 pawns up will be an easy win. Okay. So this endgame is bit complicated. So what we are basically doing with the bishop, we are trying to grab the pawn, at least 1 pawn, and that pawn we will try the extra pawn here. This can promote to queen, or after capturing this pawn, the c pawn can promote to queen. We will be discussing all that in more detail later. I hope you are enjoying the channel. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thanks for your time.